Good evening and welcome to Gigi's Threefold Harvest. Um, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to Gigi's Threefold Harvest. And if you're not interested in a little tax information for the tax season, go onto my channel and check out the other videos. Meanwhile, I'm going to get into a couple of things that's new through that one big beautiful bill, better known as the OBBBA, for tax season 2025. Okay, so first, many of you may be interested in knowing that that workers that make less than $150,000, may not be many of us that make that much, you would be able to deduct up to the $25,000 in tip income. And again, I'll go back and I'll change it over to the most popular earned income credit that we'll discuss. Many of you may have already filed your income tax for this year because, the filing season has already started as of the last week in January. And this is February 10th, 2026. So I know many of you that would be getting receiving the earned income credit for the tax year 2025 have probably already filed. So, whereas the information that I'm going to provide briefly here is pretty much would be beneficial to a majority of the workers making income anywhere from $21,000 to $50,000 with or without dependents. Because of that earned income credit, many of you are probably accustomed to receiving a mass amount of tax earned income credit, which includes the child tax credit, which I also mentioned. The tax credit for this year, for 2025, has increased to $2,200 for this tax season. We also have a tax season, a tax benefit that is for people that maybe work in food service, maybe even motels, motel industries. You may be interested in knowing that you can get a deduction on that tip. Normally where there's a tip required on your job, but not mandatory, or not any particular tip that's warranted. You go to some restaurants that will say that will make you think that you should pay a certain percentage. Those type tips are really not deductible. If you tip on your own accord based off the type of service that you receive, and say a customer give you $5, $10 or whatever, you would be, that type of tip is deductible. But any type of forced tips are not deductible. Like if you're forced to tip, or if you have a restaurant to tell you where you are in a group of 10, or you are in a group of 5 or more, and you have to pay a tip. Those type tips are not deductible. Of course, if you're a person that, if you tipping on your own, just make it simple. If you tipping on your own accord, those type tips are deductible, but keep your receipts. Hello, Ophel. Thanks for joining. Meanwhile, I'm going to cover the fact that the standard deduction also increased to $15,750 this year for married. If you're single or if you're married filing separate from your spouse, then you get the $15,750. But if you're like joint, if you're filing joint taxes, your standard deduction is $31,500. So I'm kind of jumping all over the place a little bit, but because I know if you've got the people that are going to file taxes and maybe itemize, they've got business deductions, or maybe if they sold some property, if they have capitals and gain. Hello, Hail, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, forgive me. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel at GG's Threefold Harvest. And as always, I recommend that you go and check out videos on that channel. If you haven't already filed your income taxes and you fall in, maybe you have 2 or 3 children, say you have 2 to 5 children, and it's only really 3 that's going to make a difference on how much you get for your child tax credit. Keep in mind that child tax credit versus earned income credit are 2 different things. So you would get, normally a person that make wages anywhere, I would just guess at 15,000 to 50 maybe. Yeah, and you've got 3 dependents. Most likely, whatever taxes were withheld, you're going to receive all of that back in addition to the earned income credit based on the amount of children that you have. Then you would get an additional $2,200 max for that child tax credit. And bear in mind that child tax credit, people used to receive child tax credit off of a child that was under 15. Now they moved that age up to 17. If your child or your dependent was under the age of 17 at the end of December of 2025, you would actually be eligible for that credit in addition to the earned income credit. And most of you may already know that earned income credit is based off the amount of income that you have. Even some single individuals will qualify for earned income credit depending on the wages that they made. I didn't actually check into the actual amount, but we know that that's not a lot. Maybe somewhere from $30,000 up to $30,000 you would be eligible. So no, Unique, I haven't seen God, but I do believe in God, if that's what you're asking. But at any rate, your auto loan deduction credit, and that's, again, not going to help people that don't itemize. Hello, Heidi. Hello. Hello, all of you guys, and thank you again for joining. Please subscribe to my channel at GG's Threefold Harvest if you haven't, in case you do want to look at some cooking videos and other type videos. I haven't been videoing on a regular basis lately, but I am getting back into it. So meanwhile, I already have a lot of videos out there that you may be interested in, but I wanted to go ahead and cover some of the information on the taxes because I've been promising that I'm going to do that, and I'm just been a little bit delayed getting this information out there. So those ones that's probably already filed their taxes or maybe in the process of getting their taxes done are probably those that's going to receive those $10,000 to $15,000 refunds through being qualified for earned income credit and child tax credit. Mind you, again, if your child is under the age of 17 by the end of December 2025, you would be eligible for the additional child tax credit, which is the $2,200. And many of you are eligible depending on your income. If you make $50,000 or even less, and you have at least have between 2 and 3 dependents. Some of those of you that do have more dependents than the 3, you still have a cap of the amount of dependents that you're going to receive the $2,200 for. So I have to dig a little bit deeper for this year, and I'll be coming back with one more session on income tax and the amount of money, the exact amount of money, and examples of the amount of money you can make and still get earned income credit. That child tax credit won't apply for anybody that doesn't have any children at all, or don't have any children under the age of 17, okay, by the end of the tax year. Okay, so I'm trying to cover, I already mentioned that the standard deduction increased for single people and married filing single people to $15,750. And the standard deduction for a married couple filing joint is $31,500. And those are pretty big deductions. So you guys make sure you take advantage of those, and which it puts a lot of us that are accustomed to itemizing. If you're itemizing and you don't have any dividends to any profit or loss gains, a lot of times here with the standard deduction being pretty large concerning how it was years ago, the standard deduction usually will be higher than your itemized deductions. In my case, it wouldn't be, but it would come close by the time you start claiming your standard deduction and start itemizing your deduction. It still would be worth the system, depending on the system that you use. I actually use Tax Act. You got people that use TurboTax. You've got people that use the tax system on Credit Karma, and you've got people that go to tax offices like Jackson Hewitt, or the even getting assistance from the IRS. They have free services as well. H&R Block, which is one of the first tax offices that I work for. I don't work for any tax office currently, but I've been doing my own taxes and a couple of family members' taxes for years now, which I've narrowed it down to just my taxes, because it's so, if a person is going to file their taxes and be completely truthful about what they're putting on their income tax, then certainly I don't mind assisting those type individuals. But we all know that if you lie on your taxes, you stand a chance to get caught, get busted, and end up going to jail just to receive a couple of dollars in income tax, and it's just not worth it. So I see somebody put something here. Times something. Please take a moment to say this. Okay, but I thank you guys for joining and saying hello. And again, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And once this live, I always like to emphasize that once the live goes off, you won't be able to access it for a while until YouTube releases it. And then you can go back, I would say, at least between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. I'm sure it will be reposted by 7. So just make a mental note or put my page into your favorites at GG's Threefold Harvest in case you're unable to find it, because I'm sure those of you that see it now were strolling and maybe ran across it, and you'll be able to go back, go and push this video back once the live goes off, once it's released from YouTube. Okay, so I think I mentioned all of the credits for people that would normally qualify for earned income credit. And those are the ones that are usually very anxious to file their taxes. So because they get pretty significant amount of income. And then if you're the type of person you're wanting your income tax, like an advance on your income tax, depending on, I think, Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block, probably many more that I can't think of right now, probably advance your income tax for a fee. And I would suggest wait for your income tax if you can afford to. Wait a week or two. Within 2 weeks of filing your taxes, usually your refund is in your checking account. So if you can wait, but everybody's circumstances are different. If you can't wait, then visit some of those local tax preparation companies in your area. Research them and make sure that you're getting the best for your money when you're paying those fees to receive your income tax quickly. And again, that's usually those that do qualify for earned income credit and in addition to child tax credit. Okay, and the information that I'm seeing, a lot of you may work as a waitress or may work in hospitality, and you working overtime regardless of where you work, up to $12,500 is no longer taxable. And that's under the big, beautiful bill where they want it, and that was effective as of 2025 this year, which is a good thing for those that do work overtime, where you're not going to be taxed on, if you made $12,500, at least that much, you could be forgiven paying tax on that amount of money, depending on and then again, it's always going to be a tax bracket that they're going to base it on. Say if you made up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, a lot of these benefits under the big, beautiful bill may just benefit people mostly that make a lot of money, but I do see some benefits that will benefit everybody. So just make sure, if you're not doing your own if you're doing your own taxes, make sure you do your own research so you can get the most, the biggest refund that you can, or at least the biggest tax credits, whether you get a refund or not. I never get refunds, but I am very interested, and I take advantage of every tax credit that I can get. So you want to make sure you're getting everything that you're entitled to, because there's something here through that big, beautiful bill that will benefit everybody, maybe on a different level, but at some point it will benefit us all. Okay, and there's even a senior citizen deduction for individuals that are 65 years and older. Over, and that's an additional $6,000. If you're married filing separate, and if you're married filing joint, of course, that $6,000 turns into the $12,000. The standard deduction, I mentioned that, $15,750 if you're single, or filing single, married filing separate, so to speak. $23,625 for a head of house. Keep in mind, there's a difference in your tax deductible for a head of house versus your single deduction. If you're single, if you're using the single filing status, you're not going to get that big of credit as you would as claiming household. And bear in mind, claiming household meaning that you are the head of your household. No two people can claim head of house. It's only one individual that is supposed to legally claim your head of house. Okay, and then the $31,500 for the married filing joint. Okay, and let me give you an example. Say you got a couple, a person that's filing head of house, and their standard deduction is $23,625, and then you're debating whether to itemize or to file, use that single deduction of $23,625. Once you start entering your information, say your interest on your house, your interest on loans or other type of anything else that you can actually claim, you're going to know if you're accustomed to doing income tax. But if you're not and you have an income tax preparer person, they're going to know as well. Okay? So where it sounds, in other words, let me give you a simple example. If your standard deduction, if you're using the standard deduction of married filing joint, $23,625, and then your itemized deductions can also include your property taxes, your personal taxes, your state and local taxes, and I had read something about state and local being increased as well. And let me see, your insurance, if all of that say equals the 23,625, then it's not going to benefit you to itemize. You know, the system is going to prompt you to say, hey, it's the best for you to use single, because then you won't be paying a tax preparer for itemizing your deductions, because they're going to charge you more if they say they itemize your deductions. So before you go to the tax preparer, make sure that your itemized deductions, which includes your mortgage interest credit, your property taxes, your church, your donations, and anything else that you're able to add, even a certain percentage. It used to be 2.4%, but I haven't gotten all my information together for this video because I'm past due posting this video. But I'll come back with those numbers. And when you add up your itemize, if you figure, well, I'll get more money if I itemize, it depends on how far over that 23,625 that your deductions are, because then you may as well just file the head of household and use the standard deduction versus the itemized deductions. Okay. So some of you may understand tax preparation, and some, I know that there's a lot of you that don't. So this information is helpful for you guys, for everyone in some way, sort, or form. Okay, keep in mind, no tax on overtime up to $12,500. So if you did make more than $12,500, then you know that you wouldn't be, you're not going to get more than that. If you made $13,000 in overtime, then they're only going to give you the $12,500 of overtime, the credit for that. And that's good to know. And again, the seniors did additional credit of $6,000. That's good for us seniors. I am a senior, and I'm thankful to hear about that one. Okay, but again, if the person made $75,000, over $75,000 for over $75,000, over $150 for merit filing joint, the deduction is phased out. In other words, the more money you make for the senior citizen deductible, the less eligible you are. But if you made less than $75,000 as a single head of household individual, and you made $75,000 or less, you would qualify for that $6,000 deductible. And likewise, a married couple, $150,000, long as a married couple made under the $150,000, so you would qualify for that $6,000, which would be, for the couple joint, would be $12,000. If I think I'm understanding that correctly, and that's good to know. So you see, that big beautiful bill does benefit all of us pretty much at some point, and that's good, because word was out there that it only benefit the wealthy people. So I'm finding that that's not true. I'm a person that do like to do my own research. Hello, Rajesh. Hello, thank you for joining. Okay, so this video has went 24 minutes thus far. I am going to get a little bit more information. I think I did provide the basic information for people that probably preparing to file their taxes or possibly already filed their taxes. And be mindful that North Carolina, Rajis. So bear in mind that you don't want more than one person to be claiming the same child. You're anxious to get that money. And if more than one person claims that child, like say if it's a parent and they're separated, you have to agree with each other whichever parent that child is living with, that's the person by law that's entitled to the exemption and the child tax credit if that child is under the age of 17, unless the two parents get together and say, well, even though the child lives with me, I'm going to let my spouse claim the child because it would benefit the child better, if you guys can get your heads together. But for one to sneak, okay, you're from India. Great. It's good to thank you for joining. And subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. And Curious at Rias, hello. Okay. So, and this information I'm providing is in the state of North Carolina, guys. So I see that a lot of you are from different parts of the state. And then some of the rules, especially for federal tax filing, are probably all the same across the nation. So as far as how you file, the deductions that you're getting is probably across the nation. But then we know that the North Carolina tax part is different. But in North Carolina, our taxes are, the taxable amount is going to be based off of, what your numbers are once your federal tax is completed. So, and some of the information that I'm talking may be kind of trivial or maybe foreign to some of you that maybe are not from the area, but anyone that knows anything at all about income tax, or if you question it, just Google, is good in some cases to provide information, but it's also good I like to get my information right from the source, which is the IRS. So even though we may live in different cities and different states, the federal part of income taxes is pretty much going to be the same. Okay, so if you've adopted a child, you get a partially refunded adoption credit up to $5,000. And again, that's going to be based off of how much you made. And I don't have the particular amount. I got to sneeze. Sorry. Forgive me for that sneeze. So last year, and the last couple of years ago, the child tax credit that I was talking about earlier was $2,000 per child that's under the age of 15. Now they moved the age up to 17. The child has to be under 17 towards the end of December to get the $2,200. And even if you got 4 children, the maximum you're going to be able to get, even based off of earned income credit, is going to be for those 3 children. Okay. Okay. Tax tips on deductions. Yeah. Okay. So I had taken some notes on a few things. I didn't get the exact income limits for your earned income credit, but I know that it's $50,000 and under for you to be able to get any earned income credit at all, especially if you don't have any children, or maybe if you just have one child that entitles you to file the earned income credit. And keep in mind, you can also get earned income credit if you have a disabled son or daughter or disabled person you're legally able to claim on your taxes. They could be any age if they're disabled, and you're able to. That would depending on, again, your income. Okay, so the less income you have, the more earned income credit you receive with that target income being somewhere like 25,000 or 30,000, if you've got like 3 dependents or at least 2 people that you're able to qualify for earned income credit. And then with that additional 2,200, if any one of those children were under 17 at the end of the year. And I believe you can get child tax credit based off of, I don't want to mislead you, so let me ask a question here right quick. Max child tax credit. Let me say for, yeah, because they've still got a limit on the amount of credit you can get, because, you know, some people have a lot of children. Okay, it says 2,200, so I was correct in saying that, $2,200 for each qualifying child. This is the amount that's indexed for inflation and may phase out if your income exceed a certain threshold, and it doesn't mention that threshold, but I'm gonna get that information and come back and do one more session on income tax. There's an additional child tax credit of up to $1,700 per qualifying child for families with little or no federal income tax liability. In other words, if your income tax liability is like 0, you can even get a little bit more for that same child that's under 17 at the end of the year. And then I like to reference, even though I Google a lot of stuff, I like to still go to the IRS site and make sure that I've got the right information. Yeah, if you send me $1,000, my problem will be solved too, Raji. Are you trying to be funny? Subscribe. Thank you, Raji. Thank you so much. A lot of our problems will be solved if we could just ask people to send us money, wouldn't it? But you know, we know that there's one way to make money. That's get out and work for it. And I do see a lot of people on here that's, you know, even people that are pretty famous on YouTube. I guess that's how they got famous and big, by getting people to send them money. The poor people, asking the poor people to send them money. Or may I say, asking anybody to send them money. And you really got people that actually does it. Gosh. But they're not robbing anybody. They send it at their own free will. Okay. Okay, and mind you, that child has to have a Social Security number. If you have had a baby in the tax year 2025, you have to be already applied for that Social Security number, even though you may not have that card yet, that physical card. Yeah, don't judge it. That's right. Yeah, I know. It's okay to be comical. No problem whatsoever, Rajesh. I'm glad, I'm happy to know that you took the time to join, and it looks like you subscribed, and I appreciate it. So yeah, I didn't want the video to be very long, but again, like I said, go to my channel at GG's Threefold Harvest and check out some more of the videos. I will be doing a couple of my videos for the last couple of times has been squabbled for some reason. I don't know if it's something wrong with the YouTube system. And I lost at least 3 subscribers. I guess they looked at the video and felt like it was poor quality, or it was pretty good information. One of them I did on the snow, and then one of them I did recently after the snow, and I noticed that was a lot going on in that video. So I don't know what happened, but guys, give me a chance. Try not to unsubscribe, and hopefully whatever kinks, if it was kinks with YouTube, that it'll be remedied very soon. So meanwhile, just in case something goes wrong with this video, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. And I'll come back and discuss a couple of more things that I didn't touch bases on concerning income tax. And meanwhile, you guys stay safe. And again, when this live ends, you won't have access to this video, but keep a mental note of the name of my page, GG's Threefold Harvest. So if you subscribe to it, you won't have a problem. You don't have to try to remember the name of it. As for this video, it may be 4 o'clock or even possibly a little bit later before you be able to come back, and then you can fast forward back and forth to find the video. And I'm not sure how much problem is going to be in this video. So I'm going to end it because I haven't had much luck with my videos lately. Once I end them, I don't know what YouTube is doing to them or what happens to them. But the purpose of this channel was just discussing income tax information regimes for the 2025 tax season. Giving some information about the new updates of how the new big beautiful bill did benefit a lot of us, tax season, during the tax season, which is really helpful to be able, especially people that made any decent money at all, so and definitely is helpful to people that have children, little children, young children. So that's what it discussed. So once this video ends, you'll be able to push it back. Again, not immediately, because YouTube is gonna hold it up probably a little while before they release it. Okay? All right, and you're welcome. Release. Meanwhile, you guys have a great rest of your day, and be safe. Get those income taxes done. And if you're one of those that's fortunate enough to get a decent income tax, that $10,000 to $15,000 that I know a lot of people with low income are able to get, use it wisely. Use it to purchase that home, to purchase maybe a car, or to purchase just a new apartment or a new rental. Use it wisely so you can look back and you can see that your money was used well. Right here, Regis, the time is 3:30 on the dot. So what time is it where you are? Yes, the United States, North Carolina. So I'm about to end this video now. I look forward to seeing you back, Regis. If you've subscribed and it looked like you did, you'll be able to see when I'm on again, and you'll be able to go on. Yes, it's a.m. It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. North Carolina is what the time is here. Okay, so what time is it where you are before I close? Yes. What time is it where you are? Because like I said, my chats, for whatever reason, disappear once I close and YouTube releases the video. They inspect my video and then they'll release it later, maybe anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes. They'll release it and you'll be able to go back and see it, and you'll be able to put comments in there then. And I'd appreciate any questions you guys have. If you want me to subscribe to your channel, come back after the video ends and when you're able to access the video again. And then we can communicate that way, okay? All right, meanwhile, have a great rest of your day. Today is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 3:32 Eastern Time. Okay? And as I see, it's 2:02 a.m. in the morning where you are. Wow, that's a big difference. But stay tuned. You get some rest, go to bed and get some rest, and maybe come back Eastern Time tomorrow and look at my videos, okay? All right. Have a great rest of your evening.